Hi everyone, I'm Navneet from Just Evaluate, and today I'll be discussing a sample answer of Ielts Academic, that is Task 1, and I'll be taking up the map diagram. But before that, please do subscribe to my channel. Please do like the video once you've watched it, and we also run IELTS classes, so and at very reasonable rates. So this is the number at which you can contact us, and this is the email ID. Let's begin. Now, what is the question? He's saying that this is an image which shows the map of Europe before the war, that is 1914, and this is after 1923, that is once the war has ended. Now, what are the changes that have come about? So we have to look at the highlighted areas, if you can see. That is the area where we need to focus. And see what is written here, that there were old empires which have now become new countries after the war. So if you can see, this is the German Empire, this is Austro-Hungarian Empire, and you have Russian Empire here. However, there are a few other countries which have remained the same. There's no change in Netherlands, Denmark, Sweden, and the other countries down south. Now, what you need to remember here is that you have to be very careful about the directions. Directions are very, very important in a map diagram. Now, if we see what are the changes that have come about in the German Empire, that this has slightly lost its territory in the south as well as in the east. What about Austro-Hungarian Empire? It has got divided into various nations. It has gained some ground in some places and lost in a few places. Then USSR, that is what has happened to the Russian Empire. Poland has been carved out of Russian Empire and a bit of the German Empire. Then a new country, Lithuania, you can see here, carved out of the Russian Empire. Now, Russian Empire has also got its name as USSR. So these are the things that you need to focus on. Basically, they've shown three empires here, German Empire, Austro-Hungarian Empire, and Russian Empire. And see how they have been affected after the war. What has happened to them. Now, you should mention the directions too. What is happening in the north, what is there in the south, because directions are very important in a map-based way. Okay, so let's see how to answer this. You have to make those 4 paragraphs, beginning with the introduction. So if you can see, there are two maps. So instead of writing before and after, we can write pre and post World War times for European nations. So what is the overall observation? When we looked at the two maps, what did we observe? We observed these three empires. Basically, that's the main thing. And what changes have come about after the war? That is, in Europe after 1923. If you see in some countries, no changes have come about. In the north and the south, there have been no changes. But where there were empires, those have broken down into different countries. Some empires have gained some territory, whereas some empires have lost. So overall, it can be observed that Europe was divided into three large empires that we've already seen, namely German, Russian, and Austro-Hungarian. Then all these empires split into smaller fragments in the wake of the war. New countries, namely Romania, Yugoslavia, Lithuania, Poland, and Czechoslovakia, emerged as a result of the aftermath. And however, all other regions on the map remained largely unaffected by the war. All other regions in the north and the south remained unaffected. Now, to begin with, the gigantic Austro-Hungarian Empire was drastically reduced in size and gave way to smaller nations. Yugoslavia and Romania in the south, you can see here. So Romania and Yugoslavia in the south, Hungary in the middle here, and Czechoslovakia and Austria towards the north. So we're talking about Austro-Hungarian Empire. Now, when we go to the next, that is the German Empire. So, although German boundaries also reduced, the impact was comparatively less. So you can see it's quite negligible. Like it has lost some ground here, it has lost some ground here, but it's not much. Very, very minimal. So that's how we need to write also. The impact was comparatively less severe. It lost territory in the south as well as its eastern borders, as you can. Then we go to the next. As can be noted, Poland's landmass was carved out partly from Germany, but mostly from the Russian Empire. So a part of it was in Germany, it was culled out from there, and mostly it is from this Russian Empire, which is Poland is formed, and a new country, Lithuania, has also come up here. Similarly, in the north, Lithuania was culled out of Russia too. Also, the latter was renamed as the USSR post-war. So earlier it was known as the Russian Empire. So this also came to be known as USSR. So these are the marked changes that you can see on the map. Just take 3 to 4 minutes to look at the map, to look at the changes that have taken place, and then summarize and write about these main changes. Next, I'll be taking up task 1 of general training, that is letter writing, and I'll be discussing the sample answers of letter writing, that is formal letter, semi-formal letter, and informal letter.